Back to Mik'd Up. Will Harris is in here. Welcome. Will, Yum.
Welcome.
First day in the studio. It's nice
Yeah.
walking around.
Yeah.
Yeah, some football talk. We're not talking football anymore. We're talking baseball. We're gonna get this deal done or what? We're gonna have we got the big meeting today with the players union and the owners. Owners are gonna finally stop being assholes?
We'll
That's
see.
me saying, not you.
I check the internet all the time, like everybody else, wanting to see
Yeah.
what's going to come out.
It's very secretive, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think like most things are. I think both sides really struggle with leaks.
Of course.
Like
Intentional leaks,
everywhere.
right? You
Yeah,
think? Yeah.
intentional, unintentional, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of the stuff that does come out is things that they're comfortable with everybody knowing, but it's probably the meat and potatoes things are probably kept pretty close to the vest, I would assume. But yeah, man, like I'm interested to see how this one goes. There hasn't been a lot of movement since, December.
Yeah.
So now we're almost in February.
Since we walked out the meeting, right? Just say, no, we're out. We're done.
Yeah. So I
got
think,
fucked up.
I think hopefully it starts to shake loose. And these things usually do. I mean, like I tell like some guys that we talk about it with, every time you go through arbitration or you go through free agency or you're dealing with a Major League Baseball team, you're never done early, right? They're like the kids that wait till the last day to do their project kind of thing. And so that's like their playbook. So I think with this, I don't think anybody was surprised as a union. I think we're
expecting
it from the beginning. I mean, dating back years, not just like 2021 season,
since, what,
but
11,
like,
probably.
but like we've kind of known that this was,
I mean, it's kind of an archaic.
I mean, like our game changes a lot, right? Like the game is way different now, than what it was 10 years ago, and it'll be very different 10 years from now than what it is now. And so when that happens, like the economics change, right? And luckily for us, like we unionized in the 60s, and so every 5 years, the way we have it set up, you go to the table and you renegotiate things, and that's where we're at. And so
I feel like for the last 10, 15-ish years, they haven't really.
Not a whole lot has changed, right? In our
Right.
CBA, like the meat and potatoes of our CBA, right? So we, as a union, come up with core things and that we think are, important to us as players, all players, not just your top echelon, but like all the way through the roster. And, we negotiate and we fight hard for everybody. So we'll see. I think everybody's optimistic about it. Everybody doesn't, everybody wants to believe that, like, oh yeah, like we'll figure it out, and we'll get to playing and put a really good product on the field day in and day out. And so
you just feel like MLB has to figure, like we have, like the owners can't afford to say, hey, we're just gonna miss out on some games because of what happened 2 years ago, and you can't afford to have basically 2 out of 3 years of lost revenue or lost games, just as in the sense of like not necessarily like business wise, but as popularity wise, because football and basketball are really kind of taking over.
You saw, when in '94, right? Like when the strike happened in '94 and there was no World Series, like it took baseball, it takes time
to the home run deal.
It takes time to like build stuff back up, right?
Yeah.
So, I think both sides, everyone involved, like nobody is wanting that, but at the same time, like with any negotiations, whether it's you're buying a house, like
you're far away,
people dig
not.
their heels in, and
you
gotta, and it's a process, and the process has to play out. And so, I think for us as players, it's just a matter of sticking to what we believe and what we want, and what we want to get out of this, and and negotiating hard.
What is some of the not necessarily the super detailed stuff that you can't really talk about right now, but what are some of the main points that have come out? Like what are the big sticking points that we really want?
I think a competitive balance is kind of what you've heard a lot of guys say, when you listen to Andrew Miller talk and and Max talk and all these guys talk. I think it's trying to create competitiveness throughout the league, right? And like Andrew put it really well when he said, like, doesn't matter what park you go into on any night, in June,
right?
Like there's two teams that are trying their damnedest to win ball games and to win their division, right? And you don't always get that.
Right.
You don't.
No.
And so I think that was a big thing for us is, man, we want a competitiveness throughout our league.
Right.
I understand in sports, I mean, you see it right now in our college sports, LSU. I mean, LSU's in a rebuilding phase, right?
Right.
But it sure as hell ain't going to be 8 years long.
No.
Right?
It can't be 1 year.
Right.
Like, they want to win
There'll be new
year.
people working in that building.
Right.
And so I think it's not just it's easy to say the rebuilding word, you know, but it's like, okay, what are we talking about here? Like how many years?
Yeah, what's a rebuild?
Right. What is it? Is it defined?
I feel like the Pirates have been rebuilding for 7 years.
There's a lot in it, and that there's a lot of teams like that. And so I think just trying to up that, like I said, that competitiveness from your smaller market teams, and not everybody can spend the money of the Dodgers and the Yankees, and everybody understands that. And we're not asking for that.
Yeah, right.
But there has to be, these fans and franchises in some of these lower market cities, like there has to be some want to,
no doubt.
To have some good players and to win games.
And even with like the, as far like on the field, yeah, but then you also like the guys that are free agents that are 29, 30, 32, like these guys are kind of getting pushed out because they don't want to spend the money to get guys that probably could help. They're going to go and give a rookie an opportunity who's maybe not completely ready because they're not really trying to win. I know it's not necessarily.
Well, I think that speaks to me saying how much the game is different 10 years ago to it is now,
no
right?
doubt.
Like you look at Major League rosters from my rookie year in 2012, compare them to now in 2022, right? A 10-year snapshot.
Right.
Like, it's way different.
Way different.
It's like
even in AAA,
the amount of guys playing video games has increased. Okay,
right.
So
right. Like you go in there, like if you're 30, you're the old guy.
Oh yeah, for
like,
sure.
What is going on here?
Absolutely.
30 was like that's your prime. Like they say your athletic prime is between 27 and 32. 28 and 33.
Let's go then. I'm right there.
That's what they say your athletic prime is, right?
So dunking, dude?
Now they're dunking. I don't know if that's ever going to happen for you.
Dude.
I'm sorry.
F45, get me in there.
I don't know if that's ever going to. But, you know what I mean? Like, if you're. Now they're trying to get the guys out that are at that age because they want the younger, but they're also not able to. They don't have to pay the younger guys because of. And so that's there's like a big disconnect now with, hey, you're young. We want the young guys. But we also don't want to pay them. But then when it's time for you to get paid, now you're too old to get paid. And they don't want to pay you based off of what you did. They want to pay you based off what you're going to do. Mm-hmm. How do you fix that?
Well, and I think that's like something that I would say most guys would lean on the side of, any athlete would be like, yeah, I want you to pay me for what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
Like every competitor would say that for sure. But at the same time, when you have, that's what I was saying, the landscape has changed when guys are super, like, there used to be like one Griffey, right, at 20 and one A-Rod at 21 in the league.
No, there's a bunch.
Now there's 20 of those.
Which is a great thing for baseball.
Which is a great thing for baseball, right? It's a great thing. Like, that brings excitement, but it's changed a lot. Like, every organization has... a Juan, I mean, not everybody's Juan Soto, but I'm saying like Juan is our guy, right? Where this guy is doing things that only Barry Bonds has done.
Right.
And Juan is in his young 20s, low 21, 22 years old.
Right.
So like, I just think that you see that throughout the league, and so as a union, like we're trying to make adjustments to our CBA to, adjust to the new landscape that we're dealing with.
I feel like in the old CBA, the last few years, they've, just priorities have been not really priorities, but like, we've gotten some things, but they haven't really been, long-term beneficial for the players, right? They're just kind of like minute ton of details. Do you feel like spring training is going to start on time, or do you feel spring training is going to get delayed a little bit?
I
know you don't know.
I don't know.
Look, tomorrow they can come out and say, "Oh, we have a deal."
Right.
I get that.
And I get that question a lot. I mean, we guys up LSU working out. Teammates of mine will text and call, and we'll talk about it. And I really don't know. If I was in on the meetings and stuff like that, I would say, hey, man, like maybe you got some time. But I'm
no.
I'm not. So
not everybody's in there.
Like I'm preparing like anybody else,
For
man, to go the end of February. And I think what 2020 did for us with none of us playing, we got really strong as a union, as a players association. And it brought a lot of guys together and kind of showed a lot of resiliency for us. And nowadays it's so much easier because of texting and social media and things like that. Like I don't know how many, I would guess in our union. I mean, there's probably 700 guys or something like that, probably in our union.
I mean, is that
40 times, I don't know, maybe more than that. But like whatever it is, it's so much easier to keep that group together. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Just because of where we are now with technology and stuff like that. Yeah. So, and guys come on podcasts and come on shows and talk about it. And
so what?
Yeah.
It's my thing.
Nobody doing this 10 years ago.
Well, here's the other thing about baseball is they do a shitty job of promoting their players, of giving players a platform to like show, like, look, you've been in clubhouses. Baseball players have some of the most personality of any athlete, right? Like we have some of the most diverse clubhouses. You have guys from Latin America. You have guys from Asia. You have guys from South. You have guys from the North. You have guys from everywhere, and everybody meshes together, and it's fun. Like you joke around, you mess around. You have all these personalities, but we don't MLB doesn't really do a great job. I'm not blaming MLB. I'm just saying that's kind of how it's been. They don't do a very good job of allowing these guys to show their personality and like promoting these players and giving these guys the opportunity to have platforms. Because look, football,
Hard Knocks for the MLB.
That would be,
dude. Netflix coming out with this PGA Tour show.
Yeah,
based the same off the F1.
Yeah,
Mike Trout could slap me in the face and I wouldn't know it was
That's
Mike
my
Trout.
point.
Yeah,
and that's the best player on the planet.
Yeah,
maybe ever.
Like Juan Soto could walk down Baton Rouge and nobody would know Juan Soto.
I think baseball is a little bit more like compartmentalized of where you are.
I know it's regional.
In your cities, in your regions. You know what I'm saying? At a national level, it's definitely a little bit lacking on that.
Right.
I think it's a team-to-team thing. Like when you go from organization to organizations, they take different approaches to it.
Could you make
but
it
on a
national?
national level? I'm saying on a national level, it does. It's not. It's not quite what the other ones are, and I don't know if that's because corporations are choosing to make
But that's how they make their money,
sports,
right?
Are,
What you say that
faces.
regional baseball is how MLB has made all of their money because you get to see them every day,
every night,
or either every day or every night. But that's why they probably want to keep it regional.
No, they can keep it regional, but you also should have, at least in my opinion, you should have like some of the top guys who are very marketable. I know Mike Trout probably doesn't want to put himself out there all the time, but like there's guys out there that can go out and be guys around
Francisco
the country.
Lindor should be a superstar.
It would bring more popularity to baseball and it would allow it to become more of a fun sport, not an old person sport, right? And that's kind of like the stigma that, that's like the bat flipping and the pimping of the homers and stuff like that. It's like, I don't care. I'm good with all that. Like if I hit a home run off of you, now it'd be different because it's me and you, but if someone hit a home run off of you and it was a big homer and they watched it, like, would you be mad at the person for watching the homer? Like, if he threw a bat at you or like did something to like if he hit it and like kind of flipped his bat and like that's okay. Like, it's not disgracing the game.
It's just different now. Like 10 years ago, it was a different
for sure
different atmosphere. Like now, it's like he did that on Tuesday. Why did I not think he was gonna do it against me on Friday? Like that.
This is what he does.
Yeah, like, that's what he does.
Yeah, it's okay.
You just see it more often, so it's like, what you mad about?
But and it's fun because it makes baseball fun. Like it's like just like you look at now. I get it. Like you see little kids now hit homers and they're throwing the bat into the stands. Like that's one, but like it still makes it more entertaining. Like baseball is a long, boring sport, to be honest with you. Like if you don't. Like
your average sports
fan.
fan.
If you're a casual fan, like it's not something that you're gonna go to and say, man, this is now going to a game is actually pretty fun. It's pretty fan friendly. There's different things, but like watching it on TV is not very enticing. So there's things that need to make it fun. I think there's other ways they could do that. It's just to me, marketing players and allowing players to show their personality and be like. I think that would help.
I think the World Baseball Classic does the best job of it. Right,
Yeah.
like whenever you see the World Baseball Classic, you get to see all of it. You get to see.
If you go look Latin American
look at
baseball.
Javi. Look at Javi Baez. He's pointing to the catcher while he's making the tag, and that's one of the most viral clips baseball has ever put out. They don't let that personality shine in MLB. Like it's very much by the book,
It's
and it's
getting better.
very old guard though. Like you need to even the Mik'd Up in the outfield is great. Like you want some of that. I know it's kind of takes away from the sport a little bit because you want them to take it seriously, but y'all are out there talking all the time. Like the people that
I do think a mic'd up spring training would be awesome.
They do that.
Yeah.
But like
the All Star Game,
like a Hard Knocks, but like in spring training. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like
instead of a 7th inning stretch, maybe 7th inning keg stand.
he's playing for the Bananas. Yeah.
you should play for the Savannah Bananas.
Something
That's
like
what you
that,
should do. You should go, but you know what I mean? Like it's maybe something. I'm not like there's not an easy fix to it. And it's gotten better over the last 10 years because players they have platforms, they have podcasts, they have shows, they have.
Right.
You know, different things.
It is growing for sure. I don't know. Like I'm older than everybody in this room for sure. You know, but like so for me, like I'm not a big social media guy. I just kind of miss that boat.
Right.
You know, so I don't have the answers for a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, no, I get it.
But dude, the game, whatever's going to grow the game of baseball, and whatever's going to get more kids playing the game of baseball, then that's good for our sport. Like whatever those things are.
The problem is
Steroids.
you see so many bad like press clippings. Like there's so many bad headlines of like baseball and they're not like there's so many good things that happen with baseball, but then you get spider tack, sticky stuff, then you get steroids, then you get the owners in the lockout. It's like all these these things that are big, but they highlight that. They don't highlight all the good stuff that happens within baseball, and to me, that just puts a stain on it, right? And I dropped the spider tack thing in there because I want to know your opinion on like my opinion as a hitter. I have no problem with sticky stuff. Like if it helps you grip the ball and you don't want to hit me in the head at 100 miles an hour, like I'm good with that. What I have a problem with is putting stuff on the ball to be able to create something different, right? If it's like, hey, this is my fastball, it helps me grip it. That's one thing. Hey, here's my fastball, but now my fastball is a different pitch. Different fastball has different spin because of this spider tack that I'm putting on it, right? Like that's where I have a issue with it. Like I don't mind y'all having, whatever to keep a grip.
What's in your hair right now?
Huh? I don't know the name of it. It's probably
Spider
just
tack?
natural oils. I haven't washed it in a few days.
Rogaine is in my hair right now.
Yeah, Hims. But I'll tell you, we probably had this conversation before, but I think with the baseball substance thing, I think it's been something that's obviously been around baseball forever. And I think it just, like most things, and we had this conversation, it just got taken too far. And then where guys start going from an average pitcher stuff-wise to an above average. And it's like, well, wait a second. And then you do that across the league, and you look at now, breaking balls are thrown more now than they've ever been thrown in the history of the game.
I know.
Especially by like relievers. I mean, many relievers come in the game, it's just like banger, 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 And then
guy throws 100.
You're giving them, and you're giving them a substance to put on their hands to make that curveball better. Like I get it. I'm like, yeah, man, that's shady. That's shady. You're taking it to another level. It's not about gripping the ball better in elevation in Colorado or playing a day game in Seattle when the roof's open and the wind's blowing and it's like it's dry and the sun is right there and you can't grip the ball, so you have something else there.
Yeah.
To taking it to like another level.
Like, hey, I'm creating pitches because this thing's so sticky.
Everybody across the board got it. I think for the most part, like everybody was like, I get it. Like let's, and this is just me, like Will Harris talking. I have no idea, but like let's come up with something that's
100%.
universal
100%.
that allows us to grip. Because man, like as a pitcher, like unfairly, like man, you get to use pine tar. Hold the bat better,
right?
Like the bats are slippery
for grips,
bro. You get an ash maple lacquered up bat.
You can't hold it.
You can't hold it.
No shot.
Right. So you get to use it.
Right.
An outfielder is out in the outfield. You're playing the outfield, man. You're freaking knocking
that
pine tar on your glove because there's a runner on second base. You got to throw him out.
Right.
Okay. And so it's helping everybody else out on the field.
Yeah.
And so
for
the
grip.
pitchers for grip. for grip.
Yeah.
Not so that
right. And I think that's the universal
super going to
thing.
affect the ball,
100%.
right? And so that's where me personally was like, okay, I wish we could maybe come up with something. Now, are guys gonna take it too far? Of course.
It always happens. Yeah, for sure.
Sports.
Yeah.
Right?
Sports.
Sports.
That's it.
And so it's gonna happen. But yeah, that's what because we've the Japanese league maybe
like the
has
the tacky ball.
Oh, there's Ed Harris. Yeah, there you go.
A little jalapeno pepper up my nose, get that thing running.
Yeah, right. Right. But I heard the tacky ball just doesn't as hitters won't like that because they don't fly. They don't.
There's different rosins that are out there that are used in other countries and stuff.
The universal thing that's been there forever is those rosin and rosin and sunscreen.
Sunscreen, right? Which gets sticky, right? And so, I mean, anything with alcohol, mixed with rosin is gonna get sticky. But yeah, I don't know. There's certain levels to it, and you start putting things in your fingers that are taking the label off the ball and leaving it on your hand. It's like, all right, man,
that's too much. When you hold the ball, it doesn't leave your finger. That's
right. It's
probably shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, it's not cool.
Yeah, no doubt.
So just so everybody knows, I never use
spider.
He
does have a nasty. He is a nasty. He's a nasty cutter guy.
I'm not a spider tag guy.
Cutter guy.
But
big cutter?
Just naturally.
Natural cutter.
Natural cutter.
Rivera over there.
He did save me from getting optioned my rookie year.
It was 15?
It's 15. I think it was 15 or 16.
He goosed you one?
No. Better. It was actually.
It worked out for all parties.
All parties.
Because I came in to get a save in the 9th inning.
Yeah.
There's first and second.
No outs.
Nobody out. Mikey comes up, and he's going to bunt.
They give me a bunt sign.
So we're up one. We're up 1 run. So I'm like, all right,
No, 2 runs. You're up 2. 2.
Okay, 2 runs. And so I'm taking the out.
Yeah.
Right? Because as a closer, I'm just like, okay, he can bunt. I can't get an out right now. I'll take the out. I'll punch out the next guy, and we'll move on.
Yeah.
But let me just get the out. So I have to fastball outside corner. He
Bro,
takes it.
Paints. I'm talking about. They're probably an inch or 2 off, and I'm like, pull back, strike.
Right.
Oh no. He comes back, same pitch, pull back.
I'm just like, bunt it. Just bunt it. Give me
you don't want to bunt at all,
yeah,
though.
I want.
Well, I don't want to, but I know I have to. I know, and I'm not a rookie. I'm struggling. I'm like, I have to get this bunt down.
You're back in high school.
I pull back 0-2, and I'm like,
yeah, I got him 0-2.
oh fuck, here we go.
Yeah.
I gotta lock it in. Then he goes breaking ball.
So then I started pitching for the strikeout.
Yeah,
now.
right.
I was going to take him out.
Because
Now it's like, now I'm going to try and strike him out.
Yeah.
So I didn't throw him another strike. I ended up walking him.
Walked me. Got the full count. Walked.
Yeah, then walked him.
I'm
so
like,
then
oh
it's
my
like,
God.
now bases loaded, nobody out. And I'm like, well, I'm blowing this thing. And then, I don't know
Sack
who came
fly.
up next. No, was it?
Because you gave up 1.
I gave up 1.
It was. I think you got the next guy out.
Yeah,
and the guy
then it was double play.
Sack fly and then double play.
Double play.
And you got out the inning. Got out the game.
Broken bat, ground ball to second place, double play.
Yep. And I was like, man, he was like, after the game, I texted him. I was like, hey, dude, thank you. He goes, I know you didn't mean to do that, but thank you. I think I was getting.
He was going for your throat.
He was getting me. He wanted me out of
beer after the game. Yeah. We went and got a beer after the game.
Yeah,
I remember talking to my manager AJ after the game because that was it was 5 straight outings where I given up a run there. I could just never get out of that building
as a closer
without giving up a run. And it was non-closing, my time with the Diamondbacks. I never got out of that building and gave up a run, and that was another instance. But that is I don't know what it is, man. I don't get people out in here.
You thought you'd have gotten optioned if you didn't get the butt down?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, that was a big hey, you're here. You're a rookie. I gave you the bunt sign, and you fucked it up. You got to get this shit down. I'm not a guy that was playing every day at the time, so
And it wasn't like he bunted through it or bunted it foul.
I took 2.
I took 2. It worked curveball here.
They're here. They're like, God,
he's trying to let you put it down.
He gave me an easy one, and look, outside corner, not coming at my face. Just get the ball down.
Yeah.
He's not even gonna probably throw the ball at third base. He's gonna get me out at first.
Yeah, I was fully content.
Pulled back
and getting the out.
But then I got walked. I'm like, thank God.
So did you swing? You didn't swing once.
I think I fouled one.
cutter
I think where the game is now. So that was 7 years ago. Nobody would bunt now.
No.
As a reliever, I'm always when a guy starts to bunt, I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
You're giving me an out?
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Any pitcher,
I haven't
you
done
only got to
since spring training.
only got to get 3.
Right.
You're gonna give me one?
Yeah.
They're hard to get.
Yeah, they're very hard to get, especially if Especially if you have a guy sometimes you gotta get 4 because a guy boots a ball or like a bad call or whatever. Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
You have a question? You want to ask him something?
Yeah.
That microphone doesn't work.
In current arbitration, is there ways to improve the minor leagues, say with higher salaries for players and stuff like that?
Minor league players are not part of our union, so yeah. So I mean, we try and do things that will promote spending on the players, and so the way we try and do that is like through the draft, like so regulations on the draft because that's negotiated. So like right now, one of the topics on there is an international draft, and so I'm not sure where the union weighs in on that, but like that's something that's on there that we're actually currently negotiating with them. But actual minor league players, no, they're not unless they're on the 40-man roster. So if they're in AA or AAA or even single A and they're on the 40-man, then they're covered by us, and those are the guys that we're kind of under our umbrella or
That's
whatever.
one of the biggest ways to grow the game, is fixing the minors. 'Cause that's like small town America. That's where
Right.
we love baseball.
MLB bought up a lot of. I mean, they
I
really,
think they own the minor leagues, AAA or minor leagues now, right?
They've really
individual
they've reorganized it. There's way less teams, which like
that's fine. I think that needs to happen.
I think everybody's on board with that.
Yeah.
Like having 4 different A-ball teams is a little bit. That's but that's how teams are though, man. Like they don't want to let guys go.
No, they hoard.
I couldn't tell you how many times we'd be in spring training and this guy would be on the AA roster for an organization, and the last day of spring training comes, and it's like, okay, like where am I going? It's like, oh, you didn't make a team. It's like, so you releasing me? It's like, nah.
You're going
you stay
extended.
Stay
go
extended.
to Iowa.
It's like, dude, I'm 28.
what am I doing? I'm not. These are 18-year-olds. I don't want to be here.
No, like we still got you.
Yeah, you're in Arizona. You're going to be outside.
Like, we got you for 6 years. Like
you
can retire.
Right, that's the sad thing is like they don't have players are when you get drafted, like you don't have any freedom until you become a free agent, and then by the time you become a free agent, you're too old. You know what I mean? That's kind of the
can't you only get optioned like so many times, sent back
3 times in your career, right? You have but you can get options as many times as you
they
want.
They go away after a certain amount of times too. So like depending on like service time, if you're up for a certain amount of years, then like your options kind of like
I think 4 is it like 4 years, 5 years, something like that. But I don't know. Okay, so
but once you go down once, like in a year, so say you go down on whatever April 20th, that's an option.
420.
But you can. My bad. but then you can go up
going
and
way down, dude. You're going up.
Yeah. So then you can go up and down as many times as you want that year. It's only one option.
Yeah.
So if you went down on 420 and then you came back up, in a week. And then went back down. That's only one. It's not 2.
So if you're a reliever,
y'all are getting hosed.
Oh yeah. If you're a reliever, they get
right. So you can go up and down every week.
They're basically
and it's only one option until the season ends. Yeah.
Like, they're just calling you when you're a taxi.
You're a taxi
for
guy.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And I know people don't like people don't really. I don't know if people realize like this is completely a little bit off base, but not off base, but off what we're talking about. You didn't really pitch in college.
No, I came to LSU as a 2-way guy.
Third baseman?
Yeah. First baseman.
Then
I lost a little bit of weight. Like,
there you go. Yeah. I remember.
It was you and your brother, and then you pitched. You threw how many innings you threw in college?
I think I threw in the low teens, 12, 13, 14, something like that.
Did the cutter save you?
Well, so Matt Liuzza, who's one of my best friends, caught me, and I always asked him that. If did I throw cutters? Because games weren't on TV like now, and whatever.
Tiger Vision.
Yeah, we had the Jumbo Sports Network.
Jumbo Sports Network.
Leonard Rollins, and Ronnie Rance.
Still doing it though.
There was no SEC network. Back
right.
But so I would just ask him, like, hey, dude, did I throw cutters? He's like, yeah, you would cut it. Not all the time, but there would be times that you would cut it, which is not abnormal for a guy who throws four-seam meters. But no, I came to LSU as a 2-way guy, just like my brother. And then my freshman year, we had a lot of upperclassmen pitchers. A lot of names from the past. A lot of people forgot. I mean, the Bo Pettits and Lane Mestapes and
we talked about Lane.
Jake Tompkins and just Brian Wilson. We had a lot of older upperclassmen guys, and so I was just hit, and I had a really good fall hitting. And I actually started as a freshman, and then my brother took my job.
What was going on?
How'd that go?
Yeah.
How'd that dynamic?
We were in Long Beach State playing freaking dirtbags, and they were nasty back then. They had Tulo.
Is that when Longo and them? Longo
I don't
was
think
there?
Longo was there yet. I think
Okay.
Tulo was playing short. Longo came the next year. But they had 3 first-round big league pitchers. Abe Alvarez started on Friday, Jared Weaver started on Saturday, and then Cesar Ramos started on Sunday.
Cesar Ramos was there. Wow.
Yeah, so I'm a true freshman. I'm like, dude, barely 18 years old.
think
And
I
I'm
might be
like,
Here we go.
yeah, nervous.
Out in California,
Out
right?
in California.
Jeez, you don't do.
So
we
I
don't
started
do it
the
anymore.
first 2 games, and then my brother played Sunday over me, and he got like 3 or 4 hits, and then I didn't play anymore. But like,
That's fucking crazy.
but yeah, then yeah, pitching kind of like would come back around for a little bit, and then would go back to the back burner. And then my
Yeah.
senior year, we lost a lot of guys. We had a lot of guys who were hurt, really thin pitching. And so Smoke was like, hey, man, you're going to pitch. And by this time, the hitting had like really gone downhill. And I was like, dude, I'll do whatever.
You're the original Shohei Ohtani.
I'm just trying to play.
So
I don't
when-
run as well. But
That guy,
I do.
that is a freak, huh?
He's a freak, yeah. He's a freak.
Have you faced him?
A bunch of times.
Has he had a home run for you?
No, I've actually had the better of him. I mean,
Nice.
knock on wood, but like
cutters
he's
done?
lefty. He's a
What is
lefty.
it, the cutters in his hands?
He's a lefty,
Yeah.
and like he's a low ball out over hitter, and so like
Yeah.
that's kind
He's
of
a flipper.
it's kind of my bread and butter.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
But also it's been a couple years,
Right.
So the Shohei Ohtani I faced
It's not last year.
was not the guy.
He wasn't hitting fastballs
Yeah,
on his
he
chest
wasn't
under the fence.
the MVP of the league. So
Yeah.
like he was a good hitter. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but I remember, dude. Speaking to him, we had a advanced scout for us. Like it was when Ohtani was still in Japan, and everybody was on him. Right, like every organization that could afford him or wanted to spend the money
because
was
he's
in
a
on him.
young. Usually in Japan, like those guys come over older. Same with Cuba.
Yeah, so you were
He
getting
was a
you were
younger-
getting a really good deal on him.
Yeah, right.
So everybody was in on him, and so our advanced scout guy was like, yeah. I'm like, dude, tell me about him. You know, he goes, well, I'll put it to you this way. He goes, if he came and played for us, this was when I was in Houston, he would be our fastest runner.
Oh, no.
He's faster than Altuve. He throws harder than Verlander, and he has more power than George. And I was just like, what? He goes, yeah, like that's who he is. And I was like, no way. You know?
Yeah.
And then he comes over and he kind of struggles a little bit. He blows out his arm, but shows flashes of it, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, nah. And then last year you watched him, I'm like, dude.
Okay, he led the league in triples. Nobody realized that.
Dude, he the fastest home the first time in the
Yeah.
big leagues. Like him and
it takes like 3 strides. He's already there.
he
It's
throws
unbelievable.
100.
Yeah.
And so I was
And
like,
he's massive.
yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah.
He's a big dude.
And a
Yeah,
sweetheart.
he's a
Does
freak,
he
man.
speak English? Does he speak fluent English?
I don't know. I've never spoken to him.
They didn't want to jump on. He had to serve his time in the military first.
Wrong Asian country, but
With the gold medal.
wrong Asian country. But yeah,
What a drop in right there.
Olympics.
Then
I did actually play with a couple of guys. I believe that is that Taiwan or Korea?
Korea? I
South
think it's
Korea.
I think it's South Korea.
Okay, so I did play with 2 guys, and they were too tall,
We're in uncharted waters.
so they actually didn't have to serve their
Whoa.
military. Yeah,
That's a thing.
so they were able to come over and
What's
play
the
ball.
height limit?
I don't know.
the Russians had
Wow.
Drago, dude.
Yeah.
He was like 6'6".
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think there's rules in Russia. I don't think there's
really?
rules over there. I think you can do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
How long did you come up though? So you got drafted as a pitcher. How long did it take you to get? To the
Oh,
big
so I
leagues?
mean, yeah, I mean, I was a full tenured minor leaguer, so I was in the minor leagues for 6 years. So like we were talking about
So
with
basically the war.
so I was gonna be a free agent, huh?
Basically in the war.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I served my
you served
military
your
time.
Our
Yeah.
country.
So it's 6 years, and then you're a free agent.
I was gonna be a free agent. I got called up by the
Arizona.
Rockies at the end
Oh, it
of
was
that
Rockies.
6th year.
And then you got traded to Arizona.
Yeah, then went to Arizona. I actually went to Oakland for like 3 days. So I got claimed off waivers, went to Oakland,
DFA.
and then immediately DFA'd, and then claimed by Arizona, and then was up with Arizona.
So you only
in
pitched 1 year in the
13.
big leagues with the Rockies.
Like
and
2
then-
months.
Yeah, 2 months.
It's really
DFA.
bad.
Well, it's a tough pitch. I mean,
It was a tough place. Yeah.
You know, I mean, that sucks.
That was my first full season in 4 or 5 years because I missed 3 years with injury.
Oh yeah.
So I by August and September,
cooked.
it was dude.
You're
I
cooked.
was
Now
like,
I get it.
man, I am not good. So I actually gave up a homer that year. I remember pitching at Dodger
I'm
Stadium.
not good.
And Bobby Abreu hit a homer off of me. Okay.
Yeah.
He was 50.
And back then, he had the longest home run trot in the history of baseball off of me. Okay.
no.
Because
we can
I
find
had
it.
thrown one like chin music
And this is before
to him.
pimping was a thing.
It was before, dude.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he had the longest home run trot in the history of baseball. It was my rookie year. Like I was cashed out. We were in LA. You know, this old dude hits a ball like over the bullpens in right field. Takes him like, I don't know, 40 seconds to get around the bases.
Where does
And
he turn
I
it?
was just like, is this season
31.5 seconds.
End? Yeah.
No way.
I think it's been beaten because I think Big Papi hit one.
32.9.
Yeah. So Big Papi hit one, but he thought was foul at
So he didn't
Fenway.
leave the box.
So he didn't leave the box.
Yeah.
And obviously he runs slower on the base anyway.
Yeah.
And then finally was like, oh, it's fair. Like now I'll run, and he only beat it by a second.
Damn. That's pretty.
Yeah.
That's pretty. That's
And
pretty
I remember after that
Pretty
homer, Jim Tracy was my manager. He's like, I don't think you're gonna pitch anymore this year. Like, there's like a week left.
Hey, man,
like a week left in the season.
you're
He's
on the
like,
shelf.
I think that's it.
You're on the
and I'm
shelf.
just
You know
like,
what? Okay.
all right.
Then you got DFA'd.
Then I got DFA'd
you got
next spring
DFA'd.
training. Yeah.
And then you went to Arizona. That's where you kind of like.
Yeah, and I got
figured
an
it out,
opportunity.
right? Arizona,
and
yeah.
you know this, dude. Like,
Yeah, for
man,
sure.
when you're the tweener, up and down, especially as a reliever, a bad day.
Yeah.
And that's
Sets
it.
you back all year.
Yeah, it's it,
Yeah.
And so when I went up with Arizona in 13, it was like, for a reliever going up and down, it's like that burn the boats mentality of just like, dude, like I'm not going back to the minor leagues.
Yep.
The only way I was going to do that is like I got to
Just shove.
show out, and I
Yep.
got to show something where whoever they have coming off the DL is not better than me.
Right.
Like you got to make it to where they can't send you back.
No doubt.
And so I luckily, man, just pitched really, really well.
Yeah.
And when the guy that I came up for came off the IL, they sent somebody else out instead of me.
That was great. That's a
And
great
so-
feeling too.
Yeah.
When
And
you,
so it's like, it's like, all right, this
That
is
guy.
Yeah. You're like, oh man, that feels good. I'm here because you as a player,
Dude.
like when they're coming back, kind of like how they're thinking. You're like, all right. And then when that moment happens and you're not the guy that gets sit down. You're like,
yeah.
oh my god.
Team likes me.
Yeah, I got it through. I made it through.
Yeah.
I got it through. You made it through the next round. It's great.
I tell you all the time, dude. In baseball, like you're either, and you know this, you're either on the prospect list and you graduate from the prospect list to the suspect list.
Suspects.
And so, like when you're older reliever, there's no such thing as a prospect reliever.
No, unless
that
you're a
doesn't
closer.
exist. That's a prospect starter that they moved to the bullpen.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And so relievers are always on the suspect list. So when a guy gets hurt or you go 13 innings or 14 innings,
you're
so
out.
like reliever's gone.
Yeah.
Like which one of us is getting shipped out
Yeah.
tonight?
Oh,
You know?
doubt.
my God.
It's tough. Dude.
And in 2014, that was me. So in 2014, still with Arizona, I had the options that we talked about, right? And so I made the team out of spring training, struggled. He gone, get out. I was the only guy that had options because we
Yeah.
had a team full of veterans.
I was gonna tell you. Oh, you got options. You gotta go.
your
Like,
options,
That's
you
a
gotta
bad
go.
thing.
But it's sometimes it's a good thing because they keep you because you have options.
Yeah.
You give them roster flexibility. Being a guy.
Yeah, it's a puppet. It's basically it. It's
Yeah.
just pulling the strings, right? It's tough.
So that year I went up and down a lot, like a ton.
Yeah.
But
and,
yeah,
And then you made the All Star team in what year?
in 16.
And 16 in Houston, you made the All Star team. You should have made the year before.
I went in 15, yeah. When you mean you did a solid for each other?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was actually, dude, I remember this. That was right at the All-Star break. Because I thought that I was going to go.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And that was the break. And then the All-Star game, the way it works, too, is like there's tons of fill-ins. Like last minute.
Yeah, of course.
Starters are start the last day.
Yeah.
And they'll push, you made it, but you're an alternate or whatever.
Right.
And so I remember being like, I gave up that run. I was like,
Mikey, God damn it.
I was like, I hope I'm still maybe an alternate.
Right.
And
Right.
then I didn't.
Didn't make. I know it was bullshit. Then you made the next year.
And I
But
made
next
the
year
next
was better
year.
than the year.
It was. I had more saves. If you're a
more
reliever,
holds, right? Like go to the holds and saves. Like that was like the big thing.
if you're a reliever, you really need to have saves.
Yeah.
Unless you really, really have like
Yeah.
a minuscule ERA as an eighth inning guy.
Yeah.
But
it is.
But it's
part of
cool, dude. The
all
All-Star
part
game
of it.
was fun. It's fun to do.
Yeah.
Like there's guys now, like the
Balls
guys
are
that
cool.
go every single year. Like it's tough, man. You don't get any days off in the big
Right.
leagues, right? And
Right.
so when you get those 3 days,
Yeah,
it's like, oh hey, like Sunday night because the game ends Sunday, right? And then everybody's got to go.
Yeah.
If you make the All-Star team, you're hopping on a plane, going to the
Yeah, it's
All-Star
exhausting. You don't
city.
get that break.
Nothing.
So would
Honestly,
you
you're
rather
probably-
not make the All-Star team?
No, hell no.
Yeah.
I'd rather make
Right.
the All-Star team.
Right.
I'm just saying for guys, it's tiring.
Yeah, it's
like when
probably
these
more
guys
tiring.
show up on Thursday, and now they got rid of an off day for some teams. Now the All-Star break's 3 days now.
Oh, really?
For some teams, yeah.
But so isn't it like if you played in the All Star? This is like I guess it's different with every team. But if you played in the All Star game, right? You made the All Star team. You played in the All Star game. You come back. Some teams will give that guy that played on the All Star team that day off.
Right, they get off
the day
yeah,
after
yeah.
like the regular.
They'll give them a blow
Yeah,
because
right, which is
they didn't get a break.
and they traveled. Like it's You travel, and usually it's probably across country.
Yeah.
So a bigger place, and it's like, man, and you have to like.
It's just a lot. You got family. You obviously probably got 20 people in town, right? So you got all your family and your friends and your agent and
going out.
Your kids. You know, you got the Marucci party, you know, which was sick my year.
Yep.
Appreciate that, guys.
Parties and all of it. Yeah.
So, but like, it's a lot. It can be a lot.
No
and
doubt.
so when it's like the game's over Tuesday night, like if you're a show guy, you can hop on a jet and fly out back to your hometown. If you're a middle reliever, you hop on Southwest the next morning. And you know, you get the A group, but like you go to Southwest. You get the free bags. Yeah, you get the free bags, and you go back to your city, you know, and you make it, you know, you get there Wednesday afternoon, you know, and you got like a day to chill, which is cool. Yeah. But dude, the All Star game was one of like my favorite moments of all time.
That and then I'm sure the World Series.
Oh, the World Series, yeah. Obviously, yeah. But actually, I got to pitch in the All Star game, which was cool. I didn't just have to watch it. So.
Yeah, that's sick. A lot of people don't get to pitch.
They don't get to pitch, yeah,
which kind of sucks.
Which was it was cool. It was cool. I actually came in and faced a teammate. Well, he eventually was a teammate, but
who's that?
Diaz, the shortstop for Houston.
Diaz, is it?
Yeah. But he was he was with St. Louis at the time. But no, mine was like a quick warm up. Andrew Miller got in trouble, and I had the bases loaded and had to come in, and it was fun. Start the guy out. Yeah. Dude, there was a moment where the game was like 2-1 or 3-2, right?
Right.
And it was boring. Like Hosmer hit a homer in the first inning, and somebody else hit a homer in the game. And the big moment was when I came in and punched out Diaz, dude. Yeah. So I'm like showering. I'm like, am I gonna win the MVP?
What out?
Yeah, I'm like, man, it was boring. I got a shot, right? So I'm showered up.
Eric Young ain't walking through that door.
You're packing up all your stuff, and you got gobs of stuff, right?
Yeah.
You get stuff signed. You know, you got 4 bags worth of stuff. You know, and this producer guy comes in there. He's like, hey, they need you on the field. Yeah. And I'm just like,
I did it.
You know? I did it. And as we're walking down the tunnel, he was like, oh no, he was like for MLB, like, you know, the show with like Pedro and Harold those guys or whatever. They want to talk to interview you. So I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, I'm not getting a car, you know. But dude, Brian
on the Chevy Cruze.
Brian McCann.
Yeah, what was the car? Do you remember?
I don't remember who it was. Hosmer, I think, won the MVP in the homer. Yeah. But so one of my best friends in baseball is Brian McCann.
Right.
Brian, All Star Game in Anaheim. He made a lot of All-Star games, but he won the MVP. And it's the one year of all time where they didn't give out a car. So he went out there. He went out there. It was like trophy, you know, and he's like, all right, like where's the Camaro at, you know? And they're just like camera down, like lights off, like good game.
Nothing. They didn't get anything for it.
I got a trophy. Yeah. Like no car. It's like the one year that they didn't give out a car.
Why was it? Why was it?
I guess somebody sponsored it. I don't know.
That's tough. That's a tough look.
That's great. Yeah.
Chevy needs to step their game up, bro. What's going on there?
Equinox as well.
Yeah, do something. Like, geez, give them like a. You know, do these guys keep the car? Or they give it to like a father-in-law or like sell it?
I know Breggy gave his to his mom.
Yeah.
George gave his World Series car, a truck. Actually, it was a Chevy. I think he may have given it to a family member. I don't know. Maybe not.
Right. Well, good for
but
them.
Yeah, it's a cool one though. It's a cool trophy to have.
Well, I kept you for longer than I wanted to keep you.
Dude, it's all good, man.
You got, I mean, you can stay for the rest of the show, but last question before I let you go. What was your, like, everybody has it. What was your welcome to the big leagues moment? You know what I mean? Like, everybody, like mine, we're playing Anaheim. I got walked. I get to first base. Pujols on first base. And it was like a good at bat. He kind of battled, got to first.
Tried to lay a butt down.
He tapped me on the butt, and he was like, hey, man. He's like a grade A-B. Or grade A-B kid or something stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, looked at him, I'm like, damn. You know, like, that was like the...
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm here. Like, this is Albert Pujols. You know what I mean? I was a rookie. Did you have one of those or not really?
Yeah. So my debut, I had never been to big league camp. I had never backed up a big league game before.
Oh, wow.
I had never nothing when I got called up.
Yeah.
You're
grinding.
Ultimate underdog story of so I get there and like I don't know anybody. Nobody knows who I am. Everybody's like, who's this kid?
Right.
You know, like, is this Harris? Like, nobody's ever seen me. Like, we trade for him. Nobody knew I was actually even part of the organization.
Right.
You know, and so in my debut, I was there for like 2 days before I pitched, and I threw against the Brewers. 2 outs. Ricky Weeks hit a 3-run homer off of me.
Ricky Weeks, wow.
Okay, so Ricky Weeks hit a 2-strike, 2-out, hanging break, Coors Field breaking ball,
of course.
homer.
Love those.
So get out of it, get out of the inning. We win the game. We were up like 8 runs, so it wasn't like a factor in the game. But I'm like pissed, right?
Right.
My friends were there. for my debut, and like I just spoiled the whole thing, like just ruined it. Like I'm not happy.
Right,
You know?
right. You have
It's
runs.
like, so go back in the clubhouse, and Matt Belisle, who was a longtime reliever, actually went on to pitch for even longer. He probably pitched for like 5 more years after 2012. Maybe not that long, but maybe.
Chris Go for the breaker.
Huh?
Chris Go for the breaker.
Yeah. And he came up to me, he was like, hey man, it's like, congratulations. And I'm like, head was down, and he looked at me, he's like, it's a lot better to give him up here than it is in the big league. Than it is in the minor leagues. And I was like, yeah, that's true.
That's true.
It's like if you're to give up a 3-run homer, like where else you want to give it up?
Right. You can't get higher than this.
Right. And I was like, all right.
Yeah.
Like that kind of made me feel a little bit better of like,
You're here, kid.
You're gonna give up homers.
It happens.
Yeah, it's like you're gonna punch out.
Yeah.
It's like where would you rather punch out at? Like Yankee Stadium or freaking whatever Potomac? Well, or where?
No doubt.
Yeah, it's like you'd rather do it there.
I'll punch out a lot in Yankee Stadium. I've got no homers in Yankee Stadium. I don't hit very well in Yankee Stadium. Not very. That's probably you don't.
Don't
probably
tell him
like,
that, dude. Don't tell him that.
You probably don't like pitching in Yankee Stadium.
I've had good ones and bad ones, man.
Yeah.
Like I've given up homers there in big spots, and I've struck guys out in big spots. I have a lot of games played there. We just always played them in the postseason.
Right.
You know.
Right, which is probably sick. He's a big Yankees fan.
Yeah, it's a great place. We played him in the wild card game.
He said he hated you. He said he hated you
Tanaka versus
because he hated you because he's a Yankees fan. I was like, well,
you would have checked your glove when you walked in.
Yeah, haven't pitched there since they checked gloves. So maybe I'll have less success there now.
Wait, I just got one. You talked about like knowing that y'all both went to LSU and facing each other. Do y'all have? Is there any kind of like the wink and the nod moment of like, all right, let me get you one if you know they're struggling or anything like that? Where
I told him, so I'll spill the beans. It hasn't happened.
Yeah,
but I told him it's a couple spring trainings ago. I was like, hey, dude, like
if you need one,
yeah, like I'm gonna throw you a first pitch curveball first strike when I face you in spring training, okay? Because I need work on curveballs, and you're gonna know it's coming. And there's no easier pitch to hit out
than a curveball.
Hang a curveball. I was like, so
he did. I never had the opportunity.
I never faced him.
I know. Hopefully this year.
Was freaking hurt or something. But yeah, I never faced him.
But
I told him, I was like, hey, dude, just so you know, like you're getting a first pitch banger, first strike. Like I'm gonna give you.
No, this is spring training.
Spring training. Yeah. Like, I'll give you a freebie.
You can't meet up like in the postseason, but hey, is it still on?
Yeah. Hey, give me this one. Give me this one.
Hey, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. Okay, here's a fastball. Good luck.
Getting his dome.
Yeah.
I'll take whatever I can get.
But yeah, that happens. But like in the season, you don't want.
No, hell no.
You can't give up a cheap.
I mean, if your guy's struggling, like here, give you one.
No.
Spring training maybe.
Yeah, spring training. On the backfields.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna take a little break. We're gonna let you get out of here or stay in, whatever.
Awesome.
It'll be a surprise.
Who knows?
See you in 2 minutes.
Sterling Automotive should have given that car away.
Ooh, Sterling Automotive could have. That was the one day. That's what they could have done. They have a Chevy dealership. I know.
Do you all remember that guy that was so nervous? No, we're on. I'm sorry. But do you remember? Yeah, sorry about that. Sterling Automotive. Here you go. Do you remember that guy that was giving out the car during the All Star Game or maybe the World Series that got so nervous during the post game?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember this?
I do remember that. He was like giving this like the.
Yeah, he was giving the car away.
Yeah,
and he was like he had notes and he was fumbling through and very sweaty and fat, and it was just a terrible moment for baseball.
What year was it?
Oof, that's what I don't know.
It was relatively recent because I do remember him like man, this guy's. He's nervous.
He's nervous.
This guy shouldn't be on the stage right now because he's too nervous.
It was too big for him. It was one of the two.
It was one of the two. I don't know which one, but I remember saying, "Man, this guy's
toast."
Yeah, this guy's not.
It was. I was in 2014, 2015, 2016. Because I was in college. Baked as a cake.
Okay, back to the break. See ya.
Let's get back to football.